Hi guys, this is Elizabeth Kwam from Engedi Grove. Today we're talking about basil. Please subscribe so you can see some of our next videos on sage, garlic, and how to butcher a hog. And process a deer. Guys, here I have my basil. I planted a lot of basil. I love to use it. My kids love pesto, and I love it on my pizza. So, harvesting basil. When you harvest basil, I just use a knife, and when it's seedy like this, it's not as delicious. So some of that I'm gonna dry the basil. So I'm just gonna pull off some of the side shoots, and I'm gonna set them aside. I'm gonna put them in my harvest bucket. You could still use it, but it's just not as pretty. Some people put them in bouquets of flowers. And that looks really beautiful, and it also adds some adds some greenery to it. And what you're looking for are more like that. It's not quite out. The leaf is still more round. The rounder the leaf, the better, but that's still fine too. And this I'll show you it's a tender perennial, and which means it will grow and keep growing. It'll just keep growing for you, so you don't have to replant it. But when it drops below 40 degrees, it dies. So a lot of things that we plant as annuals can be perennials, but basil will die at 40 degrees about, so even if it's not below freezing and you want to save your basil, you'll want to cover it with a blanket to keep it from freezing. Or you can just bring some. I'll just dig out some of this and just bring it inside, because it transplants very well. Basil loves a lot of moisture, but it can thrive in dry conditions as well. This garden actually was gravel just years ago, and I had my ducks on it, and I just put deep mulch bedding, and that's what this is growing in. Deep mulch bedding, just like this guy named Paul that does it, and it has grown very well in this deep mulch bedding, and I just keep layering it on. If there are weeds, some of the more aggressive weeds that would pop through the mulch, if I just tried to cover it up, then I pull out. But a lot of if they're really small seedlings of the weeds, I just cover them up with more mulch. And it does a fantastic job of not, see over there, I didn't cover with mulch. Over here, I covered with mulch. So, huge difference. I hope you guys try it out. A lot of times you can get mulch from a tree company that cuts down trees. They mulch it up, and oftentimes they have to pay to dump it at a city area where people can come and get it for free. Well, you can ask them to bring it to your house if you live close enough to them, or if they're working in the area, it might be very convenient and helpful for them to just dump it off at your house. When I lived in town, I saw that older couple, they had just asked a tree company to dump a whole load in their driveway, so that they were able to scoop by scoop and barrel by barrel just go ahead and coat their yard with some mulch. Online you might see a lot of places that say, don't use mulch from a tree company because it might be a diseased tree, or it might be it will be very buggy. Well, those are also people that are trying to sell you mulch, chemically treated mulch. So you do not want to use chemically treated mulch. You want it from a tree company, the buggy mulch. And oftentimes those tree companies, they know if a tree was probably diseasey or buggy before they cut it down. Oftentimes a tree is just in the wrong spot and they need to cut it down. So you can talk to them and tell them your needs and wants, and they have no interest in bringing you mulch that will kill one of your trees. They want happy customers, they want a good reputation, so I would try it out. Hi, Kalina. Don't take any of my basil, girlfriend. Yuck. Here is the plant that I was talking about, and I just put it in a pot. I'm watering it a lot extra right now, just so that it doesn't have so much of a shock to it. So we'll see how this works. This is the first time I've brought it in from outside, but I know that basil plants are not really finicky, so I'm sure that it'll be fine in this pot. So this is my storage room. I won't show you all around because it's pretty messy. But these are, right now, these are sage. So I'm going to take these sage down and pluck them off of their stems and grind them in my food processor so that I can use them in breakfast sausages. And that'll go well with our ground pork that we'll be showing you how to slaughter a pig later. So that's all I do. I'm going to put up the whole pot of basil here and take down the sage that I have. But I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of it. I like this method better, using the clothespins, because then I don't have to be stringing and tying and stringing and hanging. It's just all a mess when I do that. I've done it before and I won't do it again. So that's my method, and I like it. It works for me. I went ahead and balded my basil plant to go ahead and make some pesto.
Basil helps balance acid in the body to help it have a proper pH balance. It helps also digestion as an anti-inflammatory, and it helps the nervous system. It is seen as a remedy for headaches and insomnia.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'd love for you to comment and tell me how you like to use your basil.